Hey, customers, welcome back to another episode of Fast Film where we cover all the news and reviews just for yous. This week we have a bit of a longer episode since last weekend we were at the South Lake Comic Con. Shout out to any of the people that we met there that are watching this video right now. Let's get into trailers. So, for trailers this week, Rick and Morty got a trailer for season 7 that's coming out. Big thing about this is the first season without Justin Roiland since this was being created when he got in trouble. Now he's off the hook. Who knows what they're going to really do with him? But the voices sound pretty accurate. We still don't know who's actually voicing them now. We're going to find out soon. That's going to be coming out to Adult Swim on October 15th.
And we also finally got a teaser for the remake of the classic Toxic Avenger. There's also been some first looks of characters from the film, including Elijah Wood and Peter Dinklage, although we haven't really seen his face. We haven't seen him as a Toxic Avenger just yet, but the teaser is pretty short. It's only a minute. Of course, it's a teaser. And it's filmed like an old school news coverage, while the report about the Toxic Avenger even saying he looks like a fucked up hot dog. That's fucking hilarious. I'm super excited for this one, especially since the teaser gets pretty damn gory at the last second. It has had a couple premieres at a couple festivals, but still no word on the release date for the general public.
And then we have a new movie coming to Netflix on December 18th. It's called Leave the World Behind. It's an apocalypse movie starring Mahershala Ali, Julia Roberts, and Kevin Bacon. Ali's the only one who could see like the end of the world coming here. I mean, it looks like it's going to be pretty good. It's a good cast. I'll definitely be checking this out when it comes to Netflix.
And Hulu and Oprah are teaming up for a new series called Black Cake, which is based on a New York Times bestseller. Two siblings receive a flash drive from their mother who just passed away and ask if their mother ever spoke about her childhood. And they say no, but apparently the flash drive contains her whole life story. It's a life full of secrets that she never shared with the kids until now after her passing. It seems the mother had a crazy childhood to the point where she says, in order for me to enjoy my freedom, someone has to die. Parts of the trailer seem like a fun adventure movie, but then it gets pretty creepy where they talk about a 16-year-old as a perfect age to become a bride. I don't know. I can't decide if it's going to be an adventure movie or just a sad movie, but Black Cake will be releasing on Hulu November 1st.
Then we got a trailer for Disney's new movie. It's going to be following this character named Asha. She makes a wish on a star and appears to get like magical powers. Of course, the king of like where she lives is all pissed off because he's the only one allowed to grant wishes. It's a Disney movie, so I mean, take everything with what it is. I'm sure it'll be cute and fun. What really sticks out to me is Alan Tudyk, who's normally like the sidekick characters in these movies anyway, is using the exact voice he uses as Clayface and Harley Quinn. So that was kind of throwing me off the whole time. But this is going to be coming to theaters on Thanksgiving.
And Showtime released a teaser for The Curse. It's a comedy show starring Nathan Fielder, who also wrote and directed it. It also stars Emma Stone and Benny Safdie. The teaser doesn't give much to the plot. It just shows Nathan and Emma being recorded talking about you're able to put out a fire using the sun. I was pretty interested since it gave off a kind of a creepy vibe to it. So I dug a little bit more into it. And it's about an alleged curse disturbing the relationship of newlyweds, who is Emma and Nathan, while they're trying to conceive a child, and they're also starting their new HGTV show. I never watched anything with Nathan Fielder in it, but I do know that Randy does love his stuff, and I do like Emma, and I do like Benny, so I'm definitely checking it out when it releases November 10th.
And then we got a trailer for Matthew Vaughn's new movie. For those who don't know who that is, he's the director of Kingsman. This movie has a great cast in it. It's kind of like a multi-layered thing. Bryce Dallas Howard plays an espionage writer that finds herself in the middle of like some actual espionage plot. Sam Rockwell's in it as an actual spy. Henry Cavill plays her spy in the book that she writes. It just looks like a fun, cool like action comedy. I'm a big Sam Rockwell guy, so I'm gonna definitely check this out when it's in theaters in February.
I love Sam Rockwell. But so three things that I love are making a movie together. A24, Ari Aster, he's not directing, but he is producing it, and Nicholas fucking Cage. Dream Scenario is about Nick Cage being a normal guy living a normal life as a teacher until one day he begins to show up in people's dreams without him even knowing. It starts with a couple people saying, "Hey, I see you in my dream, and I dreamed this about you," and it turns into everyone around him dreaming about him, even around the world. Some people love it, some hate it because everyone has a different dream scenario with him in it. Some are happy, and some he's trying to kill them. I'm super excited for this one, especially since it heavily reminds me of the "Have you seen this man" viral image that was going around a few years ago, where people all around the world were having a dream about the same man and they all drew the same exact face, which is fucking creepy. But this one will be releasing November 22nd.
And then Netflix dropped a trailer for their movie Old Dad, starring Bill Burr, Bobby Cannavale, and Bookham Woodbine. They're three best friends that all became fathers later in life. It looks like a cheesy comedy. They're going to be doing angry dad stuff, dealing with like one of them doesn't have a smartphone, only a flip phone, stuff like that. I mean, I like Bill Burr a lot. He's one of the great stand-ups right now. So checking out his movie is going to be definitely on my list. It's going to be coming out October 20th.
It's gonna be like a grown-up daddy daycare movie.
Yeah, it's they're swearing. It's just going to be, Bill Burr in a movie.
Yeah, angry as usual.
Yeah.
But Showtime and Paramount released a trailer for the Kane Mutiny Court Martial. Long fucking name. But it's directed by William Friedkin, and it also stars Lance Reddick, who both sadly passed away recently. But this movie does star Kiefer Sutherland, who's the main character. He's on trial with another naval officer. The naval officer is on trial because he committed mutiny. He took command of the ship after he believed that the captain, played by Kiefer Sutherland, he believes he's unfit to be in charge. I couldn't help but feel it's pretty much the same as A Few Good Men, but with just a couple minor changes to it. The Kane Mutant Court, fucking this movie's coming out this week on the 6th.
Just because we've been a little behind since we had the convention, we're a week behind. There was a trailer for Encounters, which is a Netflix documentary about people that have had encounters with UFOs. It's supposed to be real, especially with all this UFO stuff coming out lately.
From Mexico.
Yeah, like it's become more of a like known thing. This is on Netflix now. If you want to go check out this documentary series, you can. It's gonna be people talking about their experiences with aliens.
Aliens coming from Mexico, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But with it being October, Hulu turns into Huluween, which I love. And for Huluween, they released a trailer for The Mill, starring Lil Rel Howery, who I also like. In The Mill, Rel wakes up in an open air prison with a stone mill in the middle. A voice begins to talk to him, saying that he needs to meet his daily quota. And the employee that doesn't meet their daily quota or does the least rotations gets terminated. Soon after that, he hears someone yelling and later on finds a skull in the dirt. But now he has to escape in time to get to his child's birth. This looks insane. It looks pretty good. I love these movies where they all just kind of like in one spot and nothing else really happens, like Cube. That's a great movie as well. But this one's going to be released on October 9th on Hulu.
Then our last trip is for Gargoyle of Gotham, which isn't a movie or a TV show, but it's actually a comic book. I kind of couldn't help but put this on the list just because I've never seen a trailer for a comic book before. It looks kind of cool. The book's out now. I think I might check it out. Batman's got a weird design. Not a huge fan of that, but still, it looks kind of cool. I've never seen a trailer for a comic before, so it's kind of fun. And then for headlines this week, the big thing is the WGA strike is officially over. The writers have come to an agreement with the studios to stop picketing and get back to work. As fans of movies, if you're here watching this, you should be a fan as well. We're all happy to see this agreement being made. Next up is SAG is still on strike. Hopefully they get a deal in soon. Sounds like the writers are still going to go out there, though, and keep picketing with the SAG strike, which got to be down for. We're all for unions around here. So we're just happy to have everybody starting to get back to work.
That'd be nice. Get some good shit coming up.
Mm-hmm.
But an extra for Batgirl, the movie that was doomed, is suing some Hollywood bosses. Doesn't say exactly who, but after almost being killed on set. Let me see if I can pronounce her last name right. Christina Stanovicki, something like that. Says it would have been easier if she had just not lived after facing multiple operations for broken bones. So, well, here's a list of shit she broke. She suffered a broken thigh, a shin, a hip, a pelvis, a thumb, and a head gash on set. She was filming as a bystander when a camera carrying machine ran her over. She was then rushed to the hospital and underwent surgery in order for doctors to save her life. Hopefully she gets something out of it, because that's pretty fucked up, especially if the movie never came out.
Yeah, they filmed the whole thing and then decided to just can it because it was a better tax write-off. Now they're gonna have to pay this poor lady for getting ran over. So Disney Plus is starting to crack down on their password sharing. They're trying to do like Netflix had done. It says like they're gonna start trying this on November 1st. I'm still not 100% sure how they're trying to do this shit because I never got anything from Netflix. I do know some people that got caught, but I still share my shit. So I'm not sure how this is going to work. I think we're all just going to wait around and see if Disney's actually got the balls to pull this off, or if they're like going to this is a bluff and they're trying to get other people out there to do stuff. And then this isn't on our script yet, Luis, but I forgot to say we didn't talk about this. The guy who played Dumbledore passed away last week, which I
Oh,
know
he
is a
did.
huge
Yeah,
bummer for a lot of
he
people.
did die.
Guy's been in a bunch of good stuff besides that. Can't remember his
Dumbledore.
name right now, but Dumbledore died. Sorry, guys. Sorry to all you Harry Potter fans out there. And then for reviews this week, Luis.
Oh yes. So HBO released a new documentary called Savior Complex. And I gotta say, the first episode gets kind of pretty crazy at the end. Renee Bach was an American girl who's extremely religious. Decides God has called upon her to go to Uganda and help children in need. At first, she starts doing great things, helping out children in need, like feeding them, taking them to the hospital. But later decides that God has a bigger plan for her. She decides to get a house in what she says is the worst slums. Doesn't look that bad in that area, and she gets a fucking like 2-floor mansion kind of thing. It looks kind of like a plantation, to be honest. But she's even says that, oh, I don't think we need a big house like this, but God says we do, so we need it. And it gets fucking crazy right away. I got red flags from her. We find out she's no longer allowed in Uganda because she's apparently a serial killer over there. We found out early on, but we don't know exactly what or why. But the cliffhanger is that she's has no medical education and decided that God tells her what these kids need. So she's giving them like medication, which endlessly kills the kids eventually. But it's just crazy. It's insane. She's diagnosing kids with no medical degree, nothing. She doesn't know anything. She's leaving everything literally in God's hands. I think this bitch is crazy, and I cannot wait to see the finale to see why she got kicked or how she got kicked out of Uganda. We know why now, but it's just I can't wait to see it. It's getting a dope for me.
And then the new season of American Horror Story started. I believe this one's called Delicate. It stars Emma Roberts as an actress that's trying to get pregnant, and Kim Kardashian plays her agent. As Emma tries to get pregnant and promote her latest film, it appears that someone or something may be stalking her. We have no idea if it's actually happening or if she is just losing her mind. The story is but my biggest complaint is Kim Kardashian cannot act. She cannot act. She's awful. Stop trying to do shit. Like, I don't know who her mom had dirt on. She's awful. The other actors are fine in their performances, but Kim drags down every single scene she is like she is reading directly off of cue cards. She has no emotion. She's awful. So just for that, this show gets a nope from me. American Horror Story has way fallen off. So I don't know what's up. I guess this was a stunt casting, and it's definitely a stunt because it's fucking awful. So it's a
I've
nope.
I've never seen a single American Horror Story.
No, so like the first ones are pretty solid. I watched some of those with Jessica, but they just keep getting worse.
Yeah, they look like shit. But so when we decided to review David Spade's new show, we thought it was an actual show.
Yeah.
Turns out it's a fucking game show. Contestants have to figure out which product is a real product and is actually on the market and which one is a fake one, which is why it's called snake oil. It took about 1 minute before David Spade makes a joke about having famous and rich friends, aka Adam Sandler and everyone else that's left them in the dirt, Joe Dirt. He does do corny jokes and has celebrity guests partner up with contestants as like a financial associate, since they have to like invest in which product they believe is real. This show is an eye for me just because it's a game show. I enjoy game shows, but this is kind of shitty. I'd rather watch Family Feud with Steve Harvey, who I think looks like Mr. Potato Head. But if you want to check out Snake Oil, it is on Hulu.
And then we got the first 3 episodes of the spinoff of The Boys, Gen V. It's on Amazon Prime. Just like The Boys, the show is not for the faint of heart. The opening of the series, we meet our main character, Marie Moreau, on the day she learned she had superpowers. It's literally the day she got her first period, and like she loses control of her blood, and her blood's like her weapon. She runs into the bathroom to hide from her parents, and then like when her mom comes up, she gets startled and kills her. And then the dad comes in freaking out. She kills the dad. There's blood everywhere. If that is not something you can handle, you can't handle this show. You can't handle The Boys. They open it up with just blood everywhere. For those who can't handle it, it's just all about Soups and like this new generation of Soups that know that they weren't born this way, that they like were given the fuck whatever it's called, the V stuff that makes them have powers. Follows like the superhero college of Goldelkin University. I mean, I love The Boys. I've read every single book, so it was cool to see this one. I mean, I'm always going to keep watching this, but it is not for the faint of heart. If you like The Boys, you'll like this. If you didn't like The Boys and what I described to you already just sounds too much, just skip this. It is a dope show though.
When you kept saying soups, I kept thinking of Adam Driver. Good soup.
Oh, good soup.
But from the John Wick universe comes the Continental. Finally, it finally released over the Comic-Con weekend. So us, the boys, got to catch it together after. We do see a young Winston and his brother Frankie, whose name you're gonna love in this show. Who no longer they don't have any connection anymore. They just kind of separated as they grew older. But Frankie decides to backstab Mel Gibson, who is currently the one running the Continental, and he steals the gold coins plate to manufacture them. So if you know John Wick, you know the gold coins are used as currency in the movies. Uh, so Mel Gibson forces his guys to bring Winston back from London because that's where he's at now. He's living out there in order to find Frankie. The show being from John Wick, it has some amazing kills, it has some dope ass kills, some crazy fight scenes, which a lot of them tend to be on stairs. This show is a big dope for me, but you'll be hearing Frankie's name about 100 times in the first episode. I mean, we just kept cracking up about how many times I said Frankie. Check it out on Peacock if you guys want.
You say it as much in this review as they do, like pretty frequently, like that
Yeah,
is in the show.
seriously. I try to kind of throw in Frankie a lot in there just so people can get used to it.
So Wes Anderson had 4 short films released on Netflix this week. All the short films are based on stories written by Roald Dahl. I mean, they star the usual Wes Anderson cast. They're shot the usual Wes Anderson way. If you like his stuff, you're gonna like this. I mean, they're 4 little short films. More importantly, if you like Wes Anderson, check out our Dennis Lehane interview where we talked about the Grand Budapest Hotel and go into real detail for that. I'm not a huge Wes Anderson guy, so it's just gonna get an eye from me. If you like his style of stuff, you're gonna really like these 4 short films, though.
So, although our producer Randy isn't really on screen anymore, he did get to check out the new comedy, Dumb Money. According to our financial experts, this movie is about as smart as the title suggests. The plot follows 2 dim-witted brothers who attempt to strike it rich in the stock market through various insane schemes. Critics say their antics are less laugh-out-loud funny and more facepalm-inducing. One particular cringeworthy scene involves the brothers taking financial advice from a magic 8-ball. Dumb Money seems to think unseriousness and stupidity are unsuitable substitutes, are suitable substitutes for clever writing. On the plus side, moviegoers can feel better about their own lack of investing know-how after witnessing the absurd financial illiteracy these characters. Dumb Money opens nationwide this weekend for audiences seeking a stupider Wolf of Wall Street.
And then Netflix dropped a new movie this week called Reptile, starring Benicio del Toro, Alicia Silverstone, and Justin Timberlake. It's all about a New England detective who's like pursuing this case about a woman that was murdered. Maybe it's Justin Timberlake who's like her new boyfriend. Maybe it's like her ex-husband. It's fucking slow. I mean, slow. Like I thought, all right, I've been watching this for an hour, and it was really like 15 minutes. I mean, it was that kind of slow. It's a note for me just because of that. I had to stop watching. I fell asleep. I mean, you can ask producer Randy about this in the comments. I showed up half asleep still from this fucking movie. Maybe it gets a lot better as it goes, but goddamn, it was just boring. I mean, I'm gonna try to finish it, but it's a no for me.
That sucks because I love Benicio del Toro.
Yeah, he's just like so flat. Also, he's supposed to play like a New England detective, and I just can't see it. Like,
He's a New England detective.
yes, he's the New
That's
England
fucking
detective,
weird.
and it's like, what the fuck? Like, it
Does
just
he
doesn't
have
even.
Does he have an accent?
Kind of the best Benicio del Toro can do, I guess. I don't know.
It just sounds like Benicio.
Yeah, like it sounds like the guy from Sicario to me. I don't know.
Oh shit, that's hella Mexican.
It's just a nope. It's a nope.
Talk about Mexicans. Gotta see us a new movie, Cassandra, released on Amazon Prime. And let me just start off by saying I think this movie's a dope. It's a dope right away from me. I'm saying that because once again, I'm a Mexican reviewing a Mexican biopic. But honestly, compared to the previous one, this one I think is the best. Gael Garcia is Saul, a Mexican American from El Paso, who is a small-time luchador. He fights at first as El Topo, which means the mole. He's a fighter people can usually use to get easy wins off of him. But in real life, he's secretly a gay man who can wrestle pretty damn good. Of course, gay man wrestling go hand in hand. But yeah, so he's being told exoticos means. Oh, I mean, exotico is a little explanation. Exotico is a gay character who's a luchador. It's a character. It's not all of them are gay. I think he was like one of the first ones to ever actually be gay as an exotico. But he turns out he's a big fan of lucha libre because of his father, who turns out not to be in his life anymore when we see him as an adult, because we can only assume it's because he's gay. They never really say why, but you can just assume it's because he's gay. He gets tired of being the stepping stone and turns into an Exotica and creates a character of Cassandra. Without giving too many spoilers for a real life story, he ends up becoming one of the biggest luchadores in history. Bad Bunny is in the film, but he's a minor character. He's like one of his like associates. But it's pretty crazy to see in the film what he does because he's a guy that women love, but to see him do what he does in this movie with another guy is pretty crazy. But Garcia does an amazing job in this film. It is a heartwarming movie, but at the same time, it's heartbreaking just to see the shit he went through as a gay man in Mexico. Mexicans back then and still to this day are kind of gay men are kind of like very frowned upon out there. But it's a wrestling movie, but it's all more Cassandra's story and it's like life struggles. So there's not that much fighting. There's maybe about like 3 to 4 fights, and they're all about 2 minutes each. So it's not like a big wrestling movie. It's fucking John Cena's not gonna bust out and check his ass. But if you want to check it out, it is on Amazon Prime. I highly suggest to check it out. It's a good movie.
That's why you can't go back to Mexico, Luis. So anyway, Hulu released a movie on September 22nd called No One Will Save You. This movie's set up to be like a home invasion, with the twist being that it's aliens. There's actually so much more going on here. We watch an alien invasion take place from the perspective of our main character, Bryn, a young woman who's on her own, living like a quiet life in this small town. She appears to be very secluded in her home and in the whole town itself. On the first night, an alien breaks into her home, and that's where it begins. As the story progresses through the next couple of nights with more aliens showing up, we see more of what's going on in Bryn's story. There were points where when I wish there was more context for what was going on. That's kind of the point of the movie, is like you wouldn't know what the context is for anything since it's her like point of view. Bryn is in the middle of this invasion, so it's really cool to see this. By the end of the movie, we get all of Bryn's backstory. Like that all comes full circle. I don't want to give any more details away here, and think if you like sci-fi movies, you're going to enjoy this one. Just know there's almost absolutely no dialogue in this. I think there's one line said the whole time. There's a lot more film here than there is like popcorn alien invasion movie. I give this movie a dope, and I can see it becoming one of those sci-fi hits years from now that people are like, have you seen that? Like it's actually really good, kind of like Ex Machina was for a while.
Or Coherence.
But it's definitely a dope.
Wow. Is it kind of filmed like Silent House that oh God, what's Scarlet Witch? I forgot her name.
Elizabeth Olsen. That was supposed to be like one take that they hid shit. This isn't like that.
No, it's just like her POV. You don't see
it's her POV. It's just a silent film essentially.
Sick. Charlie Chaplin. But Jigsaw is back, and I gotta say, he should have just stayed home. I'm not saying that the movie is bad, but compared to the first and couple ones after, there isn't much to praise with this movie. Let me start off by saying this film is set between the first movie and the second Saw. And the first one was great. Second one was okay, and after that, this kind of went down. But this is not that great. But it's weird. It's not his first rodeo. Like so, he already knows how to make all these machines and shit. First half of the movie is totally different from what a Saw movie is. It's more about John Kramer being just sick. He's a sickly person. He signs up for secret breakthrough surgery, only to find out it's a scam. They never did surgery on him. They just knocked his ass out, played a fake video behind him where he thinks he's actually getting surgery on. But holding back spoilers, it's we want Jigsaw to win in this one. The white bitch in the movie is just crazy. She's insane. She's supposed to be a victim, but she's just not a good person. Like I said, the movie can be compared to the first one, and it's the crazy twist. After the crazy twist in the first one, this twist in this one, you just kind of see it coming. There's not much to it. I was pissed with the ending. It's gonna be an eye for me. I kind of want to give it a dope, but the deaths in the movie kind of give it up bigger for me. So it's an eye. Don't check it out. Wait for it to release on demand or some shit.
Yeah. So the other big release in theaters this week is The Creator. That's by Gareth Edwards, the guy who made Rogue One. It's starring John David Washington. I mean, this sci-fi epic takes place during a war between America and China. After a nuclear explosion hits LA, America blames artificial intelligence for the destruction and begins a war with any country that's harboring AI and treating them like actual people. So this movie's really all about humanity and like what that is, because the soldiers on the American side are just doing evil shit like threatening dogs and cutting people's faces off. John David Washington's character, his whole arc is about finding like this new superwoman that ends up happening to be a little girl AI that's basically like a walking EMP. You know, I wish there was more to this movie. What's impressive about this movie is the visuals. The fact that they made it for $80 million, which is a small budget, and filmed it all like on a $4,000 Sony camera. The visuals are the impressive part about this. There's just something missing in the writing here. It's a movie that's supposed to be about humanity and heart, and it really feels like that's what's lacking in this movie. Overall, I'm going to give it an eye just because I think there was something here, but they kind of just missed the mark a little bit. And then for deep cuts this week, we're just going to give you a couple movies that are on Netflix right now. My pick's going to be the classic Midnight Run, starring Robert De Niro and Charles Grodin. De Niro plays a bounty hunter that's tasked with finding a mafia accountant, played by Charles Grodin. Grodin jumped bail, so they're sending him. There's also a rival bounty hunter going after the guy, the FBI, the mafia, of course. It's just a fun, good time comedy. Like, he's got to take him from one place to another. It's a good time. They even made a Rick and Morty episode based on this premise. It's a lot of fun. It's on Netflix right now. It's definitely worth checking out if you haven't seen before.
It's a comedy?
Yeah,
Doesn't sound like a comedy.
No, it's a fucking comedy the whole time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And for my deep cut, I'm doing Creep, starring Mark Duplass, who actually does a lot of awesome things that I really enjoy, like Animals on HBO and Room 104. Frankie did bring up to me that I totally forgot he was on The League, and we love The League. It's a hilarious show. But in Creep, it's about a videographer who's short on cash, and he answers an ad online for a one-day recording session to film a man, Mark, who is dying, and he wants his last moments to be filmed. Like I believe he wants to pass it on to his son or something like that. But the videographer starts to get weird vibes from the dying man, to the way he acts, to the stories he says. It just gets weirder and weirder, to the point where he's like following him around the house, recording him wearing a fucking werewolf mask. But he's like in the background recording him without his knowledge. It's creepy, which is why it's called Creep. If you want to check it out on Netflix. It's great. It's a good movie. Great movie. Check it out. But once again, thanks again, customers, for tuning in. Thank you for everyone that came by from Comic-Con. Shout out to you, Colty. But thanks again, everyone. Let us know what you think of any of the topics we brought up. Just give us some comments. I don't think we've gotten a comment in a long time. But thanks again, guys. Thanks for tuning in.